Hey everybody, it's Chance here yet again with another episode of Paranormasight, the Seven Mysteries of Honjo. Last time we finished at least what we could of the Tetsuo are out so far. Um, what happened with that was we met Hideki Araishi. He was the man who killed us when we were Shogo in the room by disemboweling us. And he is the guy who became really popular with his occult stuff with the Rite of Resurrection. He. We got his curse from him, his cursed object from him, and learned some stuff about the relation of whatchamacallits. We learned about the relation of and how it ties into folklore and what history is, which was the guy's his research subject. It was pretty interesting, actually, even if the guy himself is apparently kind of sucky. We also learned, I'm not sure if it was in the last episode or the episode before, of the paranormal police department. So, and how Tetsuo was a part of that, so he knows that supernatural stuff is real, he just has a resistance toward it. Then, since we got caught up with that, we met the girls. Yako Sakazaki and Miyokuro Suzu. Yako is the playable character. She is the high school girl who wants to figure out what happened to her friend, with her friend who supposedly committed suicide. Though she learned by using a Ouija board, or one of those spirit boards specifically. It was just written down on a piece of paper, that classics trope, with a new girl who recently moved in, Mio, and learned that her friend did not commit suicide and died because of an accident, but not of an accident falling off the apartment building, which is what it looks like. In the quest to do this, she ends up getting one of the cursed objects, and that cursed object she has is playing a song, and basically whoever she wants to kill, she has to have this person listen to this song for 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, 30 seconds before she can curse him off. Mio, I believe, is working with the paranormal police department. She's worked with cases before, and most of the schools that she's worked with have had paranormal happenings in them, which is also happening in Honjo. So she's like, Yako, don't use it. I swear, I can't touch it, but don't use it. Do not use it. You're not allowed to use it. And so Yako's running into this fun situation where if she does the Rite of Resurrection, of which we, the player, know isn't legit, or it's more complicated than that, it's not particularly clear yet. If you can actually complete it, and I don't want to make Yako kill anybody. I understand her need to, but there is something bigger going on here. Which ties in interestingly with the Tetsuo stuff, so I'm interested to see how that overlaps, because they are investigating a murder of a police officer who, in fact, worked with, specifically with juveniles, and and the dead police officer had a case that involved the girl who committed suicide, although we learn now has not. So let's get right into it. Alright, so let's keep going. Escape from Kamagata High. Because Yeah, after Yako acquires the curse from the Fool's Procession, Mio tries to persuade her to give up and give up on going after the Rite of Resurrection. The effects of the other curse echoes are already appearing at the school, so the two hurry to get out of the classroom. Yeah, because we have someone who has a level head. I don't know where Mio was in the version of events when we were Shogo, but we're gonna find out, right? Hey, Mio, what was that just now? Could it be another curse echo from that different from mine? I think so, yes. We may have been discovered by another curse bearer. Oh, what's wrong? Shh. Someone's there. In classroom. What? Someone moved inside. Well. Let's... If my controller would work. Please, controller. It loves doing this to me. I really do need to get a new cord for it. I still haven't done that. It's not even that expensive. I just haven't done it. I want to know, but also I'm a little scared. Let's check it out. I want to check it out. It might be a curse bearer who just used the curse echo just now. And also, we can see who it is. It might decide us what to do later. Also, it could be, I mean, if I die, I'll come back. That's true. Okay, be careful. Well, can you see anything? I have to close the shades because it's a dark game and I'm playing during the daytime. Oh yeah, her field of view is incredibly cut. Ah! Huh? Is that our homeroom teacher, Mr. Jonucci? And another person is with him. Hitomi from Class A? What? Let me get it. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, let's see. What? Oh my god, what's happening? Ah, that bastard, he's at it again. I have to kill him. I won't let him get away with this. What? The curse. I could kill him with it. Girl, you should not kill him with it. You can do so, but you shouldn't. No, Yako, you can't use the curse stone. What has gotten into you? Resist it. Who is there? Is someone there? This is bad. We have to go before they see us. Ooh, I could have used it though. Kohei is an English teacher and the homeroom teacher for Class 2C at Komagata High School. He was seen alone with Hitomi Okuda in classroom late at night with Bayuko and Mio. Kohei was an honor student, the top of his class back in his high school days. The apple of his parents' eye, he was placed under immense pressure to attend a first-rate university. However, the family's plans came to naught, when the pressure caused Kohei to sink into a deep depression and fail his entrance exam. Even at university he was able to enter. Kohei struggled to keep up with his classes, leaving him a vain but wounded young man. Kohei never aspired to be a teacher, but figured it was the least he could do with his talents. He considers his students to be beneath him and largely looks down on them all. She said again, like he has a history. Is he a predator? Hitomi Okuda. Hitomi is a rebellious student. Oh, this is the girl who the police officer who died. She is on the case, and he talked with her the day he died. So I'm not sure, cause like we could have killed him, but I don't have any evidence. And she didn't go into detail on what she meant, so I don't know what she's talking about. On the rare occasion when she does show up at school, she skips all her classes and spends time hanging out on the rooftop with her fellow troublemakers. Hitomi is regarded by the teachers as one of the worst offenders among the delinquent students attending Komagata High School. Tomi was a fairly ordinary student when she started high school. However, trouble at home in her first year had her turned for the worst. She began associating with a group of delinquents from other schools, with whom she'd wander around town at night to avoid returning home. Warnings from teachers about dress code and conduct violations have fallen on deaf ears, with Hitomi going on reactionary rampages around school with her friends, breaking windows and disrupting classes. Recently, some teachers have taken to using harsher methods and even corporal punishment to correct Hitomi's behavior, but this has only served to exacerbate the animosity between Hitomi and the school. Hitomi was widely regarded as the leader of troublemakers at Komagata High School, but the title does not mean much to her. I mean, that doesn't help, but the story does take place in the 80s, so of course they thought that was okay. Ah, it seems like they're not coming after us. Let's hope they didn't see our faces. But Yako, what came over you all of a sudden? Sorry, thanks for stopping me. It's like this uncontrollable rage suddenly welled up inside me. I wonder what has gone into me. I can barely remember what happened. I'm really sorry. I do think it's partly the curse's influence on you, but we certainly saw something shocking. My heart's still pounding. I'm a little surprised, you know. Hitomi from Class A. She tends to stand out a lot. Gotcha. Well, she certainly does dress up like a delinquent, though she barely shows up to school. But could Mr. Jonuuchi or Hitomi really be a curse bearer? Um, 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 I don't know, but we should be careful just in case. Yako. Hmm? When I give the signal run, go straight for the entrance, don't look back no matter what. Huh? Why? Did something happen? um, did something happen, didn't it? What about you, Mio? I'll be fine. We'll meet up outside the school gates. If I am not there in 10 minutes, go straight home, okay? Okay, go. Right. She's so cool. Don't look back. Don't look back. I have to get outside. To see. To get to the gate, I go by the gym and... Okay. What are you doing, miss? You shouldn't be out here this late. Don't you know what time it is? Oh, Mr. Ashimiya. Well, Yeah, Ashimiya, yep. Well, if it isn't little Yako. Anyway, students aren't supposed to be outside playing at night. School janitor Makoto Ashimiya. Persons of interest updated. Open updates page. High school janitor. Makoto is the janitor at Komagata High School. His predecessor was nearing retirement, so he began working as his replacement about 6 months ago. Makoto is popular among the students for his friendly and caring nature, going so far as to remember the names and faces of all those attending the school. He is affectionately known as Old Man Ashimiya. Although he appears to be a simple, amiable man, Makoto's occasional shrewd marks have led to speculation among students that maybe he has led a far more interesting life than it seems. Whatever the truth may be, he will remember as one of the 7 mysteries at Komagata High School for some time to come. Ah, that's cute. He's just a guy. I know you're rough around the edges, but I didn't take you to act out like this. I'm sorry. I forgot something back in the classroom. No sass today, huh? Realized you were in the wrong, did you? Yes. Forgot something in your classroom, huh? You're a piece of work. But you don't have nothing with you. Oh. Wait, you do. What's that in your hand? Uh-huh. This is what I forgot. I got it from my grandpa. It's really important to me. Girls these days sure have weird taste. You know what? Fair. Well, okay. Better head straight home if you're done. I won't tell on you. No, wait. I can't let you lock a home this late. All right. Just wait a little. I'll hurry up and lock things up. But... Oh. I don't have the ability. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. I'm worried about Mio. Actually, a friend of mine is still inside. I think they'll be here soon. Is that so? Who's your friend? My classmate, Mio Kurasuzu. Ah, that transfer student. Breaking rules already, huh? Didn't take her for the type. No, I was the one who dragged her here. Well, whatever. I'll go take a look. It'll be safer if you all go home together. Oh, right. She's in the first floor hallways. Be careful, though. You don't know what might be there. What's that supposed to mean? First floor? Yeah, I'll be right back. I am the janitor here. This is high school. Okay, 2 a.m. Alright. Interesting. Hamagata High School entrance. Let's see what's going on. She's late. I've been waiting for 20 or 30 minutes. If there's no sign of her, neither of the janitor. I'm starting to get worried. I'm going to take a look. Yako! I mean, it wouldn't be interesting if we just went home, but... Mio? Are you there? Huh? Oh no, Ek. Mio, what happened? Where did I go wrong this time? Mio. Oh, she is going through it. Understandably though. I'm sorry, Ah! Oh, I died. Did I super die? Yako Sakazaki deceased. Yeah, I did die. I super died. Yippee! Hey! But this was bound to happen. There is someone who must not be trusted. Once you have an idea of who it is, be sure to come back. I'm sure you'll see what you need to do differently. It is a difficult judgment for Yako Sakazaki to make, you see. This chapter will remain incomplete for now. I recommend you try another route. Until next time. Okay. Ah, I see. Okay, so that's where I went. I failure to escape. I mean, like, she didn't really question the janitor. And, like... He said I didn't have enough information. So, I might not actually be able to continue this. You know what, let's go to Not Dreams up here. When the son of Harui Shigima was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, Harui has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at her home, something strange suddenly appears. You know what? Fair. May those who mock fires perish in flame. Kill them. Kill them. The flame bearers. Kill them all. You have tired the power of the curse stone, the haunted clamp bearers. You use the kill those with a fire or fire starting device on their person. Use the use curse stone to set your body alight. Ooh, we're just getting right into it. Red, red, red. Everything has dyed crimson. My home is burning to the ground. It's hot, so hot. It must call someone for help, but I cannot speak. My throat must be burned up from the smoke. No, I think I'm already on fire. That's right, I'll use the clappers. Clack, clack. Is anyone there? Clack, clack. Why is no one coming? I'm going to burn to death. How did this come to this? Oh, right, her. It must be the work of that Xeen who suddenly appeared and enchanted my lord. That witch, those hauntingly cold eyes that made my lord dancing in the palm of her hand. Perhaps I was also taken in by her. How many innocent people did I lure and under orders? This must be karma, the sound of a heavy bell. It feels like my head will split open. Right, the evening bell. That must be why no one can hear the sound of my clappers. I've got to do it louder. Clack, clack. Oof. Murderous impulse? Yeah, we're just starting here. Now, is the private investigator here? Is he just like witnessing this? Well, it's not in his head, so. You, who so strongly desires the right, kill them. Well, you know, I mean, you shouldn't, but also, I get it. So, Shigama Mansion reception room. Back with me, ma'am? Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Sweet dreams. Housewife, Harui Shigima. Haru is a housewife who resides in a manor near Shimoku Bridge. Her 11-year-old son, Shuichi, was kidnapped and murdered about a year ago. The death of the result of a mistake on the part of the detective assigned to that case. A mistake which enraged the kidnapper and had him cut off all contact with the police, leaving no room for investigation. The incident was covered up, and Shuichi's killer remains at large, leaving an aggrieved Haru call on the purposes of a private investigator, Richter Kai, to uncover the truth. Oh, the Shigima family came from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They assumed important positions in the police force following the Meiji Revolution, therefore protecting their family's elevated status. Even today, many of the Shigima's lines work as police even today, many in the Shigema line work as police bureaucrats and senior police officers. Harui's father sits in the upper echelons of the National Police Agency, and her husband, adopted into the Shigema clan through an arranged marriage, is also a highly respected agency official. However, as her family prioritizes work above all else, it wasn't long before Harui's marriage grew cold. Though she wants for nothing, she is isolated from her neighbors and withdrawn from society. Seeing her son grow into a young man gave Harui a purpose in life, but it was cut short by the kidnapping incident. Following the incident, Harui spent many of her days, Harui, Harui, spent many days in a deep depression, breaking down into sudden fits of shouting and wandering around in the middle of the night. Her cheerful, loving disposition faded away, and she only took making snide remarks at her husband, which only further soured their relationship. Well, a child dying, for one reason or another, usually does cause a lot of relationships to fall apart, regardless. So this is not a surprise. A few months ago, Harui's husband was transferred to another area for work and now rarely returns home. When Harui left to live in the large empty mansion alone, as a housekeeper who has been with the family for a long time comes in to take care of the housework, Harui does nothing but time on her hands. Is Yoko the housekeeper? No, not dreams. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. Guest table. I don't know where Father got this old thing from, but I've never liked it. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. It can send images along the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. The telephone. The post mansion has a private line. Not much to say. The swinging of the pendulum echoes through the room. It feels livelier than usual with Richter here. Usually it's just me. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him, and they say he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Ota City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. Alright. The eccentric man at the Shogo Okie ran into at Hojo Bridge. Richter is actually a private investigator with an office in Ota City, Tokyo. After taking on a request from Harui Shigima to investigate the unsolved kidnapping and murder of her son, he gets caught up in the events surrounding the Rite of Resurrection. Once a police officer, Richter was racked with guilt over the police's inability to help all those in need and quit the force to start his own private investigation firm. However, his soft-hearted nature leads him to take on too many cases and has put his office in dire financial straits. How he is still in business is a mystery, with some whisperings that a wealthy patron is keeping him afloat. Richter studied alongside Detective Jun Aria at the police academy. Somewhat surprisingly, given his outlandish clothing and mannerisms, Richter excels in covert investigations and tailing his targets. He proudly refers to himself as an investigator extraordinaire, though that has only ever succeeded at impressing himself. Richter's biggest source of happiness is nuzzling his pet female albino parakeet, Ernstine, which he keeps in his office. He also enjoys collecting mockingbird stickers, a popular line of merchandise featuring birds inexplicably dressed like delinquents, and be frequently cited searching around town for them. While out and about, Richter typically reads the office and, more importantly, Ernstine, in the care of Ama Mori, a junior high school who volunteered to assist Richter after being involved in a previous case. A classic private detective. I like the vibes of this man. His vibes impeccable. Azure Heron Agency. Richter Kai's private investigation firm in Kamada, Oda City, Oda City. Originally, Kai thought to give it a simple name like Kai's Detective Agency, but hearing that people are more likely to pick names listed at the front of the phone book alphabetically, he decided to pick a name starting with A. Thus, the Sir Heron Agency was established. However, it is questionable whether the heron, the bird of a somewhat ominous significance, is an effective symbol for attracting customers. Even his own assistant has referred to the name as confusing at best. After all, rather than a azure heron, Richter keeps a white parrot as a pet and dresses not in blue, but mostly in white. If there was a symbolic connection to be made here, it surely has been lost on all but Richter himself. A private investigator, also known as a private eye, is a detective who operates their own agency. Although there are no formal qualifications necessary to become private investigators, many are retired police agents or detectives due to similarities between the work involved. At a glance, private investigation firms and inquiry offices might look similar, but they carry out different types of investigations. Inquiry offices specialize in conducting credit checks on businesses, while private investigators are generally involved in tailing persons of interest, gaining information surreptitiously. Sorry, man, I got a stereo unit with separate speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one, even though he doesn't listen to music much. I'll be damned! Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you just make me jump. It's just a silly little sticker my son got from somewhere or the other. He put it up just before. Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. I knew it! Head Honjo from all the way back in set number 1. It's a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this clearly seems to matter to you. The best part is, nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town, and soon enough, they won everyone's hearts. The story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. To think one would turn up here of all places. This is a good sign, I'm sure of it. Oh, well, that's nice. Mockingbird discovered. Oh my god. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. We gotta. Oh, if this is only going to be. I hope this is only on hers. Oh my god. Approach the net. A dark bottom shelf surrounded by darkness. Jackpot. Late at night on the way home, look up at the first house among the morning green, mooring the history. Oh, hell yeah. We gotta get all of these. We have to. Even more incentive to search around. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have all the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. Alright, let's talk. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out, and the whole time you were just grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what it was about? I can kill people easy now. Well, where to start? Interesting. Very interesting. So, the haunting Clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere, told you how to perform the Rite of Resurrection, and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe. But I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looked like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural force at work. Yeah, we're not, you know what? The supernatural exists. Sometimes something happens and it just exists. We're not here to play games about that specific part. That's not the story. And I'm kind of glad we don't stick on that because it's just like, no, it exists. No, this isn't a convincing game. It's like, yeah, the paranormal investigation department exists in the police. It's real. It's real. I don't quite think you understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence. And it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head, clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched into my soul, along with the curse echo's resentful memories. Um, I like how she just looks, she's so tired. She's incredibly tired and just looks just so out of it. She's probably lived her last year of her life just in this awful zone where she probably can't sleep until she passes out. It's not restful, I imagine. So I can feel it, what it was like. Dying like they did, hundreds of years ago. Wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do, just as long as they're carrying fire. I see. That could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment, remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. About the investigation. That's what you hired for me for, ma'am, to look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Shuichi Shigema. Oh, yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today, in fact. Kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning up over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I've managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. The Shigema Kidnapping Overview. A kidnapping and murder case that took place in Honjo, Sumida about 1 year ago. Uri Shigema's son, Shuichi, age 11, was kidnapped on his way home from school, with a ransom being demanded that same evening. Initially, the kidnapping was thought of as a simple extortion scheme, but when it came to light that the Shigema family was closely tied to the police, and Shuichi was in fact the grandson of a senior official, it was quickly assumed that the perpetrator was acting upon a grudge against the police force. The kidnapping was treated as a direct attack against the good name of the police, and as a large-scale investigation was launched that used the best equipment available to trace phone calls. This was made all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public confidence in the public group. Apologies. This was made all the more embarrassing when they were unable to catch the culprit, losing the public's confidence. The public grew cocky, relentless, mocking the police force. After 3 days of failure after failure, Haruhi reached a breaking point. Spurred by the concern for her son, she resolved to hand over the ransom money as fast as possible, but her husband and father, who held the prestige of the police in high regard, refused, saying they would not let the criminal win by giving in to their demands. Oh, and we know that he died. The increasing frantic detective assigned to the case lost his temper when the criminal called to give an ultimatum, causing the culprit to never make contact again. Another week passed, and Shuichi's body was found floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi's death could largely be ascribed to the police's incompetence, but this was ultimately covered up by the stringent media embargoes. The investigation was never closed, but the case has long gone cold. Awful. The only son of Haruhi Shigema, he was kidnapped and murdered 1 year ago. His body was discovered floating in the Sumida River. Shuichi was a conscientious, brave young boy who was determined to protect his mother, Haruhi, amid his father's frequent absences. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and displayed diligence and an impressive sense of responsibility from a young age, likely due to being raised in an extremely strict environment. Born in the early 70s, he spent his days immersed in various activities and studies, including playing piano, learning the abacus, taking English lessons, and training in kendo. Shuichi's tendency to put other people's needs before his own meant he died without ever telling his classmate how much he longed for them to all go on a hunt for mockingbird stickers. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I found and we can make a decision? Alright. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. Oh, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave it for the files to cover and confirm just a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, Northern Okio River, here in Sumida City. That's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from. But it was almost certainly the same location that Shuichi was being held captive. Since Shuichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls, Northern Okio River was quite a distance from Shuichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely he was abducted by a car on his route home. Maybe, but... Exactly. Shuichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible they forced him into the car. And the issue is there wasn't any witnessing to the kidnapping. Okay, there we go. I feel like I'm if I don't read it exactly when I want to, it goes too fast. You can't bundle someone into a car with many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward and say they saw anything suspicious. So, did they target him for some other time, or... Ah! Sorry, stuff is falling! So, did they target him at some other time, or was there somewhere away from his usual route? Both of these seem a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, They decided the kidnapper must have just gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? Ah. The kidnapper managed to convince Shuichi to get into the car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if there were someone he would have a reason to trust. A teacher, perhaps, or a relative, or someone else that he knew. But other than the adults Shuichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. But what if it wasn't someone he knew, but rather, what if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigema family has close ties with the police after all. He would have had a reason to trust them. You might be right, but surely that couldn't have... Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point, after all. There's meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. But here's another interesting bit, a little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody ever imagines women or children. Huh? Even kids who have been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect the danger to look like an adult man. Besides, Shuichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have a very strong sense of right or wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean... Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Shuichi asking for help, what would he have done? If someone like that said they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays, but if Shuichi believed it, then we might have something here. And also, he was a child at 11 years old, you know? You don't really question what you believe, and it's like, well, this lines up like, yeah, of course. Of course I would protect them. That's not a question. And I mean, you know, he's 11 years old, he doesn't question these things, he is a child, you know? Then, you think the culprit was a young woman? But it was a man's voice on the phone. She might have been an accomplice, or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She might herself not realize she had anything to do with the case. So the question is, did anyone see Shuichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, what I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too. And I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Shuichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say that for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. Several hours earlier. Alright, this should do. There's no one around. We can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Oh. Jonouchi. This is that homeroom teacher. Got it. Well, Jonouchi, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page. You're a private detective investigating Shuichi Shigema's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course, what else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Whatever, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger, I need your help. Ugh. If you excuse me if that caught me a little off guard, let me ask you straight. Who is trying to kill you? A student called Michiyo Shiraishi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. Nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows. I saw what she did. Michio Shiraishi, I saw her kidnap Shuichi Shigema. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think much of it at the time, and then he went missing. She murdered him, I'm sure of it, or at least she got something to do with it. If that's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why is he meeting with her at the dead of night? Is he just trying to... Did he do it? Interesting. Well, you see, if you can't explain that, then I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me if I kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life? So you've been sitting on this all this time and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's it, exactly. I'm begging you don't let her get me. Arrest her, I'm telling you she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true. Her house, it's... forget what I would even bother. So you seem dubious enough to believe me, and I should have known you never would have understood. Enough. I'll find someone else to help me. Hey. That was very odd. In every way, especially knowing what... with our high school girls. Because he was hanging out with her? I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk, but I'm starting to see that there might have been more to it. Then, if we can find that girl... Curse or no curse, if she was with Shuichi on the day of the kidnapping, then there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Jonuuchi. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then the schoolgirl. He's one of his students? I think that's very likely. At last, we've got a lead. Hopefully it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. The Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about it in that occult magazine the other day. Apparently some old books showed up recently with all the gory details. And they say the rite can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers have been heard. Like I had hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered, what if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that I had done something differently. Shuichi would have still been alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know it won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right. I guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell you how much he meant you. I can tell how much he meant to you. But, and this is a big but, is this right? If this right is the real deal, it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. She doesn't care about that. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame, huh? That's all? I thought, if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize you're talking about ending someone's life, right? You don't see an issue with this? Do you think any parent in my position... I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. Is that so, is it? Dear, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? If it makes you uncomfortable, then you don't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am, not even for a client. That's a shame. I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, It's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they filled it with soul dregs? And that's what explains why he was there and probably didn't get on her case about it, because he was following Shogo and Shogo killed, like, well, he only technically killed one person, but he also, like, I made him kill four more people, but he probably would have done it anyway, I think. If that's what all you were after, then I could lend you my services, guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. Ah, okay. My. About my curse. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about this curse of yours? The Haunting Clampers, was it? That's one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. In that case, my money would be on the curse bearers being somewhere in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curses made on their bearers were willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or lighter on their person. Is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who don't heed the warning. It seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use. Though, it's hard to see how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? A target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. And it's big that it works on lighters, too. Just slip one into your target's pocket. And say that the condition here was already fulfilled before they even knew you were there. They wouldn't even know it hit them. Maybe I won't actually have to use it. I could just tell them someone I could, and they just have to do what I said. Threats could work, though without any proof it'll come down to how convincing you can be. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a letter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition. I'm gonna make a save so I don't accidentally kill Richter. But maybe not. I'm not crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying. And I don't think it's just the curse. You flatterer. As for what to do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside your normal routine. Okay, sounds good. Right then. Have you decided what you want me working on? Help me with the Rite, investigate the kidnapping. I mean, I think I want him to investigate the kidnapping, right? Finally. Finally, I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises. Could you search for the other curse bearers? Alright, I see how it is. Well, I'll be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. Anyone they kill under the cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. And once the city wakes up and I can start asking questions, I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try to find Miss Shiraishi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Now then. I should get to work. There's only so much time until sunrise. I'll call you if I find out anything new. You should stay out here and keep a lookout. Alright. There's no telling what kinds of curses you find out in the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it, and try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. Okay. A nice thought. Escape from Komagata High. I mean, we probably can't trust the both of them. So... but I shouldn't kill. Hard to know. Nice thought. Okay, so that's it for today's episode of Paranormasight. I think we're done with the initial heavy exposition. I think we're gonna get really into it now. Now that we've kind of learned the basics of what was hinted at before with Shogo, with the prologue, really. With Shogo, the prologue. So we will find out what to do next. We'll continue at it next time. Probably continue with Haruhe. If I could pronounce words correctly, that would super help. But we'll probably just continue on. We'll see what happens next. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.